right, so how's it going? Lately, I've been spending a lot more time alone with my fiance out of town, and I've been finding myself thinking about time a lot and in more ways than one. And I'll go into this a little bit more. But first, it's specifically about the time of day and how long things throughout the day take me. So, like when I wake up, I'm instantly thinking about my schedule. I say, okay, if I stay in bed for 8 more minutes, I'll have the time for 15 minutes of meditation and make it to the gym by 6:07. Or another example would be at work. If I work on this task exactly 33 minutes, then that'll give me enough time to do X. My Apple Maps is telling me if I get home at 6:37, can I make it home by 6:36? I am hauling ass to see if I can find a way to save this 1 minute. And it's crazy how much I just obsess over the literal time. Secondarily, I obsess over how I'm distributing my time. What am I devoting the majority of my time to? Is it work, relationship, family, creative outlets? I've previously talked about these different buckets that I kind of segment my life in. And if I'm spending more time in a certain bucket, I try to reprioritize into different buckets. So, for example, if I've spent 10 more hours working than I should have this week and I didn't make it to the gym 5 days this week, then how will I rectify that this upcoming week? If I haven't called my mom in 6 days, I need to make this a priority in my coming days. If I need to think more about, oh, I can't forget about this bill, I need to make sure that's on auto pay. I can't forget to text back this person. So constantly my mind is just on how I'm spending my day. And if I'm spending my day in a certain bucket more than another, then I need to quickly reprioritize. And that brings me to another thought on time, which is how other people use their time and where do I stand in comparison to them. First off, I find myself judging how other people use their time. With social media, I really am just exposed to the best parts of people's lives. Typically, that's all you really see. You rarely see kind of the monotonous day-to-day stuff, whether it's a fun night out or them vlogging an entire vacation or announcing big life changes such as a promotion or starting a family. A lot of people my age are getting engaged or having their first kid. So it's things like that is what I'm seeing. And I'm sitting here thinking, how have they accomplished this level of balance and happiness and success? And meanwhile, I'm killing myself just trying to find success, and I can't take like a single day off. I'm trying so hard to just focus on my career that I'm really just stressing so much out about this one bucket. And I don't know how they're doing these fun, amazing things so often and how my priorities really differ in comparison to theirs. And then I just go down this rabbit hole of probably horrible thinking about like I'm just really comparing myself a lot to others. And so I saw this video this week, and I'm going to read the voiceover because it encompassed my constant thoughts. And towards the end, it really helps me put these bad thoughts of comparing myself to others to rest. So here it is. Ready? Someone graduated at the age of 22, but waited 5 years before securing a good job. Someone became a CEO at 25 and died at 50, while another became a CEO at 50 and lived to 90 years. Someone is still single, while someone in his high school group has become a grandfather. Everyone in the world works based on their time zone. People around you might seem ahead of you, and some might seem behind you. But everyone is running their own race, in their own time. Do not envy them. They are in their time zone, and you are in yours. Relax. You are not late. You are not early. You are very much on time. And for me, this really resonates because I'm someone who always I'm someone who's always putting so much internal pressure on themselves. I should be further along in my career than where I'm at. I'm always chasing this idea or fantasy that just seems out of reach or just on the horizon of I should be there, and constantly my mind just goes to that. And I'm not speaking in terms of personal or relationship wise. I'm strictly speaking of my career, and my mind is always so focused on my career. But something else really also caught my attention this week, and that was something that Rick Rubin said on Jay Shetty's podcast. A coworker of mine recently introduced me to this podcast, and he sends me a lot of different podcasts and things to read and such. But I've been exposed to Rick Rubin before. I've listened to his book, The Creative Outlet, which is great. But it's all about how comparing yourself to others is basically like a thief of joy. And he says the only people that we can possibly compete with is ourselves. Is this the best I can make today? Have I gone further than I've gone before? That's really all you can do. The only competition that really makes sense for us is to evolve and push ourselves and not get complacent. And complacency is something that I've really been focusing on lately. It's just I just want to keep growing, and I want to keep pushing, and I don't want to become complacent. And even though I am working so much, I'm finding myself becoming complacent. I'm not growing. I'm just taking on more work, which is not making me better. It's hurting me because I'm not learning new things. I'm just trying to get everything off my plate as quick as I can. I'm not doing the best that I can do. So I don't want to become complacent. I want to really take my time with things and learn and grow and appreciate them for what they are. But he says at his first glimpse at success, which was around the time of the Beastie Boys, he says he remembers saying he's never been more unhappy in his life. And he thinks we mistakenly think some outward success is going to change something in us, and it doesn't. And that I really resonated with as well. I'm constantly pushing towards this physical idea of success, of where it's going to be in the future for me. And Rick said, what if you spent 20 years of your life working towards this goal that you think is going to solve everything, and you finally achieve it after 20 years, and you've missed events with friends and family, you've sacrificed so much more than what you thought you had to, and you finally get to this spot where you achieve what you wanted, and nothing really changes. And that's when people start to get hopeless. And then he further goes into, that's why you see so many successful people, they're just so unhappy in life, is because they've spent so much time just focusing on this, I need to get to this level, but once they do, this happiness just doesn't follow. And I don't want that to be me. And I feel like I've focused so much on that exact idea of, I have this vision of where I want to be successfully, and I'm constantly thinking about it and chasing it, and I don't want to get there and look back and say, wow, I've sacrificed too much. But I have such a difficult time trying to live in the present, and I'm always just so concerned with all these different aspects of time and success, and I can never just seem to enjoy where I'm at, really. And it's funny, there's a Jerry Seinfeld bit about this, actually, how people are always complaining about how they never go out and we should go out, and then the second you go out, you're thinking about, well, it's getting late, we should get back. And when you're at work, you just want to be home, and then when you're at home, you've been working all week and you just want to get out, and then you get out and it's late and you got to get back home, and nobody wants to really be anywhere. And that's how I feel a large majority of the time. And somehow I've got to find a way soon to just appreciate the moment that I'm in. And unless I explicitly say to myself, you know what, Julian, you're taking the time right now to nurture this creative outlet, for example, and find your voice. You should be so grateful to live right now in the present. And instead, I'm really just thinking about time and how most likely my dog needs to piss like a racehorse right now because I haven't been home all day. And if I don't leave in the next 12 minutes, then I don't know if what he's gonna do, and I need to go feed him dinner, and then I need to go take him on a walk, and then somehow I need to prioritize my dinner. Then I also need to finish up the work from the rest of the day. And it just goes on to the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing, and I can never just live in the moment, and that's just how my brain works, and I just don't understand it. But one thing I was also exposed to this week was Ryan Holiday, and this is what he's discussing is a very new topic for me, and I want to probably do a whole separate episode on this, but it's being stoic and the idea of stoicism, which I don't know enough to really dive into yet and talk about. But basically, when he talks about the present moment, he's not referring to like this literal exact moment, and which is what I think I'm getting too stressed out thinking about that. The moment can be this week. It can be this time in your life. It can be. It doesn't have to be like this specific hour of, oh, I need to live in the moment right now. It's the idea of living in the moment or present is not. It can be holistic, for example, I guess, and you don't have to really think about what am I doing in this exact moment to be mindful of the moment or the present. It's where am I at in life right now, and what can I do to really pursue what I consider happiness within this specific time frame that I'm looking at. So yeah, I'm just always concerned with time, and ironically, I never wear a watch, which is odd. But on a positive note, I did see myself actually stop for a moment this past week and appreciate a small win. I was driving home and I saw a video that I worked on a nearly 300-foot digital marquee facing the entire Las Vegas Strip. And it really, I've never just seen something that I've contributed to just out in the world like this. So that was really just cool to see. And it was just a brief 5 seconds of, wow, that was really cool. And what's funny about it was the only way I saw it was because there was a car accident, so I had to take a detoured route, and I was just so concerned with getting home on time. Like I said, my Apple Maps arrival time just went back 5 minutes, and I was freaking out, and I'm like, oh my God, and the dog, what am I gonna do? And I was just sitting there at this light that was just taking forever, and my anxiety was through the roof, and I was stressed out. And all of a sudden I looked to my right and just boom, there it was. And it was just perfectly timed for me just to take it in and appreciate it. And right as it was over, the light turned green and I was on my way. And I was just really proud of myself that I didn't take out my phone. I didn't post a picture of it or a video, because then I knew that would kind of take the happiness out of the moment for me, and I wouldn't really appreciate that moment for me. I just wanted to really accept it and appreciate that brief moment of happiness in a time of stress. And really, I'm so happy that I did. And it really calmed me down. And I'm happy that I'm able to reflect on it and realize that was a progress for me. And then it's funny, the next day I tell a coworker that I saw it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I saw it. Like I saw our work. And they said, you should have taken a picture of it. And I was like, fuck, man, but you're right. I should have taken a picture of it. So that was just kind of funny. But anyways, that's all I have for today. I'm focusing too much on the time right now. I got to get home. I'm just kidding. But thank you for listening. If you made it this far in, I truly appreciate it. And thank you for spending your time with me. I am stressed right now, I'll tell you that. I'm going through a rough time. So I'm just trying to be as present and as patient as possible. I feel like everything is testing my patience right now. It's one thing after another. I got cut off by a truck the other day when I was driving, and then immediately they turn on their windshield wipers with their like windshield wiper fluid, and it just like got all over my car right after they cut me off. So it was like boom, boom, and it was just like, I was like, oh my God, I'm about to freak out. But I was very patient, very calm, And yeah, that's what how I'm trying to get through this and handle everything is just take a deep breath and focus on what you can do. But thank you again. Appreciate it. And I'll see you next week.